Yes. Yeah, and I think this is getting into a very interesting topic, which is compensation, right? Or sort of like how does performance intersect with compensation and all those sorts of things. And I think the first thing is that I believe that as an industry, we are too caught up around money in sales. Like I know it sounds a bit silly. Of course, like we're trying to build company, grow revenue, and I as much as anyone, I'm trying to do that. But I think what's happened though is that companies have forgotten that, or companies haven't grasped that the times are changing. And I know some of the other episodes you've done have been about sort of this engagement topic and everything. But I think what's interesting is that, you know, financial compensation, in my view, and a lot of studies show this as well, is a really average driver of long-term performance. Whereas I think, you know, if you look at employee turnover in sales, if you look at sort of why do people stay because they are appreciated. They think that the company has an interesting purpose, is mission driven. They think they are respected by their management. They feel it's a fun environment. They feel they have a chance to grow. All of these sort of fluffy things that fall under this idea of engagement, like I've seen it a million times. It's so true. Like you just cannot deny it. Salespeople are not coin-operated machines. And, you know, I argue on LinkedIn daily with people that disagree with me, but I'm so confident that money is not the answer. And with that in mind, you know, Amazon gift cards, bottles of wine, even things like, you know, trips, I just don't think they're the answer, right? I think what you want to do in terms of driving performance is you want to get people to understand, you know, do you know Dan Pink? Have you read any of his books?
I'm familiar with him, but have yet to what's his most well-known book?
The most well-known book is called Drive, and I think it's called The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us. And he has this classic theory, which is there are three things that everyone wants at work. And the first one is autonomy. So, you know, they don't want to be sort of chained to a desk and whipped. So they want some level of sort of freedom and responsibility and autonomy to decide how they sort of conduct their work. They want autonomy. They want mastery. So they want to get better. And I think this is an interesting one in sales, right? Like people really want to get better. And I think, you know, that's something that's definitely worth keeping in mind. And then the last one is purpose. So they want, I mean, this is why companies like Google and Airbnb and Facebook are able to attract and retain the best people, is because they have these strong purposes, they have these strong missions. And I think if you as a company can do that, if you can give people autonomy, mastery, and purpose, you know, I think that financial piece just becomes almost like a sort of sanity check, right? Like a hygiene factor. You know, you've got to pay people well and fairly, but I don't think you can throw money at people anymore. Maybe you could before, but I definitely don't think you can now. So I think, you know, to go back to your question of, you know, sort of winning and you know, you mentioned gift cards and winning's important, but I don't think the gift card's important. I don't think the best people get out of bed every day to come to work to win a bottle of wine or a gift card. I think I'll never forget, we had one very big enterprise here, and they actually sort of made a little bit of an ultimatum to the team. They said, okay, we're running this contest and the winner gets a choice. Two prizes. One, I think it was like $2,000 in cash or something. It was like a fairly nice sort of cash bonus. The second one was I think it might have been as simple as you could go and have lunch with the CEO. And this was like a massive, you know, 10,000 employee global sort of multinational. And then everyone that won picked the lunch, right? Because they chose career development, they chose progress, they chose recognition, they chose a pat on the back, a job well done. I think that's something I'm really, really strong on.